All right, hello everybody. Welcome back to another severe storm film or weather forecast. In this forecast, we're going to be doing something a little different because we have a really big potential severe weather event coming across the United States and more on this forecast. But what makes it different is I'm going to be kind of doing more so of an analysis. Yes, an analysis rather than just doing a full-blown weather forecast. All right, I thought it over and I kind of thought that would be a better idea here. So let's first take a look at our highly most concerning day here. That's how it's going to flow on this channel. You don't like it, leave. But anyways, I'm just kidding around with y'all. But anyways, taking a look at our most concerning day, which is our day 3 Saturday outlook here. We have a big enhanced risk focused in much of the central and southern plains. We also have a humongous slight risk extending from Michigan down into Texas. And we also have a marginal risk surrounding that, but that's not too concerning. But taking a look at our probabilistic outlooks here, you can see we have a hatched risk severe weather area. All right, that's concerning here. And because I am going to be doing analysis, I'm not going to say what I think the threat will be for this. We'll obviously break it down in the forecast. But yeah, this is highly concerning. I'll tell you guys, this hatched area is 10% of a 10% or greater probability of significant severe weather within 25 different miles of a point here. I'm not going to lie. I am going to spoil one of them. I do definitely believe in a damaging wind threat this significant hatched risk will be. But others I will keep to myself, and we will do in this analysis here. And we're actually going to do that right now here. As we take a look at our College of DuPage application here. Again, this is my first time doing an analysis, so I'm probably not going to do that good. But I'll continue to practice for y'all. But anyways, let's start it while we can here. We'll likely see storms bubbling. Oh, that's a long-term model, guys. You see, I'm already starting to mess up looking at the wrong model runs. But anyways, now that we're on the right one, taking a look at this evening, you can see here early on convection, morning convection is continuing to move off to the north and east somewhat, continuing to propagate into some sort of MCS. There's severe weather still ongoing into western Missouri here. Don't think that's going to be a big deal here, but we're going to be watching this regime as we go into the afternoon and evening hours here, the rest of the afternoon and evening hours here, because watch what will happen. We'll go into the evening about 00 or so. We'll see storms starting to pop off down here into Oklahoma and Texas, and then we're going to be watching these areas as well. All right, this one doesn't look highly as concerning as these two, but it's still something to watch. So just be mindful of that if you live in South Dakota here. But then watch what happens. A cluster of strong to severe thunderstorms will fire off down here into North Texas and southern Oklahoma here. Let me actually change that forecasting area here so you can see it better. MCS develops here, mesoscale convective system, about 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Perhaps some very big damaging wind gusts around there. That mesoscale convective system will continue to propagate eastward. We could get a tornado out of this. We'll look at those standards in a second. Definitely damaging winds out of this. Hail, not out of the question either. This will likely connect as we go into the late morning into early afternoon. Maybe some isolated storms that could produce a few tornadoes behind this, supposedly. So something to keep an eye on there. But as we go into tomorrow, our primary threat areas will be in this sector. All right, not over here, but really over here defined in this circled area. So if you're in that circled area, please watch because this will get pretty interesting here as we go into tomorrow afternoon for you. Primary threat looks to be focused in Nebraska and southwestern Iowa. But again, this is just a model run that is just showing one trend. There are numerous other trends that are out there, but the models do agree that we'll likely have some sort of event in this region by tomorrow afternoon. And we'll break that down for you, obviously, here. But you can see it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that the low is right there, along with actually a warm front. A rocket scientist wouldn't be able to figure that out. You'd have to be a meteorologist to do that. Well, a person who loves weather and studies it, at least. And then we have a cold front trying to extend. So, I mean, it's a pretty complex setup for tomorrow afternoon. I don't think this is going to be a bust. However, I don't think this is going to be nearly as intense as what we're going to see on Saturday. And that's the next thing we're going to break down here. After these Friday pesky storms move on out, we will likely begin to rebound, and we will likely begin to start seeing clearing in this area right here, where the severe weather threat is. All right, we will see clearing in all of this area. All right, so this is a perfect area to get severe weather going. All right, this is perfect. And I'm going to go to a longer range model run to kind of break that down for you so that we can see the kind of intensity of the storms firing off here. Beginning the threat on Saturday morning. That's a new one. In Oklahoma here. Perhaps some gusty storms. Perhaps a storm or two producing a tornado. That will continue to intensify. And then watch what happens as we go into Saturday evening. I know you see it. A line of thunderstorms will try to develop. And that's the big question. Will we get it to develop here or not? But rarely other times I would say this could potentially be a conditional threat if it tries to do it and it won't. But I'm sorry to say, if it doesn't connect, we're either going to have a hail threat, tornado threat, or damaging wind threat. You pick. All right, we're not going to have any limiting factors in this area to not get thunderstorms going, all right? That is super bad when you have that happen, because you will likely have the clearing, and that's what will get this beast going right here. So, again, guys, Saturday will likely be a big tornado event, which, fingers crossed, we hope not. We hope the damaging wind. Obviously, we don't hope any severe weather, but if we had to pick, we would pick damaging winds because, well, these tornadoes could potentially be pretty significant. Well, with intensity F2 or greater intensity. So that's something to keep an eye on for our folks on Saturday afternoon here. And I'm going to take a look just at a couple more advanced breakdowns to kind of just show you the perspective and ingredients of the severe weather. First, talking about unstable CAPE, all right, or also known as convective available potential energy. Now, this is not going to do with one sector. Actually, it might have to. But anyways, taking a look at this here as we go into the rest of the day today, you can see a ton of energy to get these thunderstorms going here. Severe or not, they will likely pack a punch with heavy rain, and they will likely have a lot of lightning with how much energy this energy has here. But as we continue this time frame, all things said, things will begin to weaken. But again, on Friday afternoon and evening, or other words, tomorrow here, we will likely begin to start seeing things fire off again. And why I said this is going to be an overnight tornado threat, well, all of the CAPE will likely be after midnight, all right? So just be mindful of that. All of the convective available potential energy will be anytime from midnight to 4 a.m. in this region right here, all right? So please stay weather aware if you are in any of the threat areas, which I showed at the beginning of the video. And I know everybody is wondering, will we get a significant tornado out of this? Well, my friends, with what you just saw, what I rewinded, I think I spoiled it. There is a possibility. So as we continue this time frame into the overnight hours tonight. Texas here, before that MCS develops, we could have a strong tornado. All right, this is above 10, its max value. So we could definitely very well have a strong tornado or two as we go into early tomorrow morning and perhaps into the morning. All right, so we can definitely have some strong tornadoes in anywhere I circled in this region. So just be mindful of that as we go into that time frame. You might think it's going to wind down, but watch what happens as we go into Friday or tomorrow afternoon and evening. It fires back up again. All right, we have a slight risk in this area right here, and that's mainly hail and tornado driven, but we do have a significant tornado threat too. So just be mindful of that, that the risk areas don't say you automatically are out of the severe weather. That is not true at all. So just be mindful of that. Stay weather aware as we go into tomorrow afternoon and evening. And we also have a ton of energy for tornadoes in themselves, not just significant F2 caliber tornadoes. So just be mindful of that. And obviously, the most important thing to have severe thunderstorms is obviously moisture. And look how much we have by the time we get into tomorrow afternoon. All right, I'm going to put this up here because the low, I believe, is centered somewhat right here with a warm frontal boundary right here, kind of extending off towards the northeast here. I'm going to undo that there. I did not mean to draw that there. But anyways, there we have a warm front extending right there in portions of the Iowa region. However, northern Illinois will likely be limited from this severe weather threat. However, I do think we could potentially see some destabilization here when that cold front comes. But northern Iowa, it really doesn't look like it's going to be much for you. All right, it looks like that warm sector is going to be really far down to your south and mainly confined into really this area right here, south of the red and east of the blue right there, which is the cold front. That blue's the cold front right there, or dry line in other words here. And I don't think we're going to see severe weather anywhere in this region up there in Minnesota. So I don't think you're going to have to worry about that. But regardless, look at Saturday. As we go into Saturday, look at these hefty dew points here. All right, I'm going to go back down here. I know I'm going from sector to sector here, but this is highly insane. All right, the low pressure system is focused right here. It's way up in Canada. There's a second low right there. And we have a cold front going past that. I'm not going to draw that because that wouldn't make any sense. It would confuse a lot of people and catch them off guard. So I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be mean like that. But just know that we have a very strong cold front with super big forcing out ahead of it. All right, this is why we have all the moisture that is surging northward. This moisture will likely be 60 to 70 degree dew points. All right, this is a definite feed into our severe thunderstorm potential that we could have up and down this region and beyond. I'm drawing two lines because that circle goes all the way up into the Great Lakes region roughly. So just be mindful of that and stay weather aware as we go into that time frame, and just look at all of this convective available potential energy we have, guys. The main mode would likely be linear, but again, we have the threat for a strong tornado or two up here, mainly focused into Oklahoma and that region. We also have it down here, but it's not as defined, so just be mindful of that. And you can see we still have the threat for tornadoes in this region as well. And I'm just going to do a quick sounding here, just so I can kind of get a perspective here, kind of what threat we can expect in each region. So I'm going to do that real quick. I don't know if that will work on my iPad. I don't know. No, it won't. Anyways, let me actually just request mobile website. Alright, let me go back. Sorry, guys, this is being a little bit of a jerk right now. Alright. Well, sound this part of the line. Alright, so I'm going to look at a sounding here because it's very interesting. Now we're seeing all of this convective available potential energy here. And that could also mean downwind cape. Alright, and downwind cape is basically, in other words, the energy of forcing to get damaging winds out of the sky. Alright, and we have that here, alright? I'm going to get my pen out here again. It's covering the autographs. But anyways, here's the autograph here before my pen ruins the view. Alright, there we go. We should get a better view. Alright, sorry it's covering the autographs, guys. But you can see very deep moisture in this area right here. We also have a huge area of instability right here as high as 3,600 joules per kilogram here. And look at this D cape down here, 10,021 joules per kilogram. All right, that's enough for significant damaging wind gusts. All right, and you can see that we have the curved autographs right here that is getting covered up by my marker here. But you can see also, in other words, you can see the bulk shear rates as well. You can see that we have one direction, then we have another direction, then we have another direction, and those aren't the exact areas to scale. But notice that we will likely have a significant tornado and damaging wind threat, guys. So that answers your question to the significant tornado threat. And we will the significant damaging wind threat. We will likely have a significant tornado threat as well. So that answers your question to that. And as this continues to propagate out to the east, still remaining a damaging wind threat, guys. Saturday looks to be a super big day, guys. But again, we broke down what this hatched risk could be, guys. And my friends, like I said before, this is tornadoes and damaging winds. So those are the ones to most likely be considered significantly severe. We'll likely also have that hail risk as well with any supercells. But anyways, I'm Severe Storm Filmer. I hope you guys liked this first analysis forecast. I know I probably didn't do very well as I should have. But we'll get better as we continue. Stay safe on Saturday, everybody. Goodbye.